Well, the dust has settled on all things Rugby World Cup 2023. The Six Nations is under our nose. The Premiership and the URC and Europe all rage on. But everything stops when the Lions comes to town. And today in central London, one of the worst kept secrets in the game was officially confirmed as Andy Farrell was announced as the man to lead the Lions to Australia in 2025. And here's what the new boss had to say on his appointment.
It means the world. It means the world to me. To be thought of as a candidate for the head coach's role is pretty special, but to be chosen, it's pretty magical. It definitely is. I suppose being on a couple of Lions tours already gives me the feel of what it's all about, and for those who've been lucky enough to be involved before, or for those of us who've been lucky enough to go on Lions tours as a supporter or support the Lions and for what the Lions stand for at home, etc. We all know how special place this is.
Well, those are the thoughts of the new head coach. Everyone smiles when the Lions are mentioned, none more so than those who've been there and done it before in their playing boots. And this is what the assembled legends had to say. The only man for you? It sounds like it was a pretty quick selection. I mean, they said they took 6 months, but presumably it was a pretty quick selection meeting, don't you think?
I think from speaking to Sir Ian McGeechan about the way they selected, he said there was some really great robust conversations. O'Driscoll, Redmond, Ian Evans and himself really nutted it out, and I think when you look at it, there's probably calls to have a few coaches there. You know, I personally think that they've chosen the right man. I think what Andy Farrell has done with Ireland has been amazing. I think the way he spoke on stage today certainly is he's got a cold steel about him. He's very composed. You know, he talked about getting the right people on the bus, and he just talked about being good people, and I think that's what the Lions needs. I think, you know, obviously Steve Borthwick doing a good job with England. Warren Gatland has been fantastic for the Lions. And Gregor Townsend is certainly, you know, played for the Lions and is the type of coach that, you know, you might like to see flinging the ball around, and, you know, guys like Finn Russell available for selection. I hope that the Lions play some really entertaining rugby. So there's certainly a case for head coaches. I think they've got the right guy. I think sort of everyone will be quite happy with that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what coaches he selects as assistants.
How big a character and how easy a man is Andy Farrell to follow for the next, well, it'll be December 2024 when he officially takes over, but all in behind him for the next 18 months.
Listen, I mean, lucky enough to have 20 minutes with him before the press conference, and you can just sense his enthusiasm, which obviously shone through at the press conference there, and his utter conviction that he is going to do everything in his power to make sure that the Lions come back with a serious victory. So, you know, there's no question that he's the right man for the job, and I think that everything that he will do when he becomes Lions tour, and as he said, he's already starting it, you know, and he'll be watching other players. Obviously he's going to want his Ireland team to win over the rest of 2024, and then he won't be coaching Ireland directly, and he'll be looking around at all the other players from other countries to try and mould a team that has not played for 4 years and has not played in front of crowds for 8 years. I mean, that's extraordinary. And every Lions team starts from scratch. Every 4 years you start from scratch, and you don't have to take long to build up a sort of momentum, if you like, but it is the best of the best, as he's talked about, and that's what makes it so unique and so exciting.
You say the word Lions and your face just lights up. I absolutely love it. It's been that way for a long, long time. First things first, your view, I mean, you're obviously on the selection panel, but why Andy Farrell, and what did you make of today and the announcement?
I think it's great. I think already just being in that room shows just how much the Lions means to everybody, you know, and I think you get a real buzz about people anticipating what's to come in 18 months' time. And if you're involved in a Lions tour, be a player or supporter, you know you're in something that's a bit special and a bit different, and I think that came out today, and I think Andy just shows what a not just a good coach, but what a good person he is, what a good sportsman he is, and all the things that contribute to something that pulls a group of players together quickly in the most pressurised environment. I think we saw out there today. You know, having been on 2 tours already, he gets it big time. And certainly I think the players will have a great tour because you're going to be led somebody of that calibre.
All in behind Andy Farrell. There is so much to look forward to. Can I just ask you one reflective question as well? You wrote a lovely article this week about your old mucker JPR. I mean, it's desperately, desperately sad. It's untimely as well, but what a man, what a legend. On a day-to-day when we are celebrating the Lions, what an icon of that red shirt as well.
Absolutely. I mean, when I first went as a player in '74, when we met up in London, it was like a little boy in a sweetie shop. You know, you're looking round at all the great players that had won in New Zealand 3 years before, and you know, to be training with JPR and just the way he handles things and the way he spoke, he made you feel important, and he also brought you into the circle, you know, of just friendship, of what you do on the training field, what you do off it. And he said you learn from each other, and I think that's the biggest lesson I learned as a player, which I wanted to take forward as a coach. You know, and the bit of Dick Milliken and I, you know, my centre partner in those 4 tests, remembering JPR speaking to us at the end of the second test, just saying how much he enjoyed playing behind us, and we moved off the field after that, and we're both convinced JPR would never ever remember saying that, but Dick and I, you know, we talk about it every time we meet, of the impact it made. And it's certainly one of the things I remembered as a coach, to saying to some of the bigger players in the team, always say thank you when something's gone well, particularly for a younger or a newer player, because you don't know the impact that will have. And I certainly, you know, benefited from the impact of JPR. You know, for me, he was indestructible. And I think that's what hit me between the eyes when the announcement came. And the first phone call I made was to Dick Milliken. And we just remembered the time, and you say the memories, the time you have with players are so exceptional.
Yeah. You get the shivers, I get the shivers, we all get the shivers whenever you talk about the Lions. It's a special club. Winning Lion is a special person, and you're at the very top of that list. Good on you, Geach. Thank you so much. So, the head coach is in place. Probably too early to pick your test team for the first game between the Lions and Australia, but never too early to pick your captain. Leave your answer in the comments below.